Diep sat absent-mindedly on the edge of the bed, lifeless eyes looking out the window at the blue sky. All these days she has been tormenting herself. Struggle between love and harsh reality. James came into her life like a whirlwind. Take everything away. Makes her happy but also full of hurt. She knows she loves him, but also understand that his world is too dangerous. So chaotic maybe one day she will also be caught up in that vortex and lose everything. Diep quietly stood up and dragged the suitcase to the door. She wants to leave. Want to live a peaceful life without complaining. But just as she was about to open the door and leave, the phone in my pocket suddenly vibrated violently, with a strange number. Diep pressed the button to hear her trembling voice. Hello, a deep male voice rang out. Are you James's woman? Who are you? If she wants James to live, prepare $15,000. Don't call the police or you will get his body. Diep was speechless. Her heart felt like it was being squeezed. What did you say? James was kidnapped? I don't have time to explain. You have 24 hours to pay. If not, don't expect to see him again. Her mind was spinning. This couldn't be happening. Who can do that? She took a deep breath, shaking hands, gripping the phone. Only one person could have done this. John was completely overthrown by James. His company went bankrupt and his reputation was ruined. Always back or blocked. But he was never one to give up easily. When he couldn't beat James in business, he chose a more cruel way than kidnapping and spending money. But in reality, $15,000 wasn't James' main goal. He wanted to torture James. Want to see the man who made him fail kneel. And above all, he wanted to force Diep into a dead end. If she abandoned James right now, that will prove that their love is just fleeting. Diep cannot face this alone. She rushed out of the house. Take a bus to find Tom, James's best friend, Kim, his right-hand man. The door just opened. Tom was surprised to see her running in. Out of breath, Diep, why do you look so panicked? She almost burst into tears, her voice choked. Tung Run was kidnapped. Someone called Cho and said he had to be given $15,000 to ransom him. Tung was stunned. His expression immediately changed. What? Who did this? I'm not sure, but I think it's John. Tung gritted his teeth and clenched his hands into fists. That bastard still won't give up. Okay, don't worry, I will take care of this. He quickly walked out and took out his phone to call some people. I need information on James immediately. Who is holding him? Find me. Diep looked at Tom with hope in her heart. But $15,000 is not a small amount of money, and they need someone else who can help. Tong and Diep quickly arrived at James's family villa. The villa is large, but today it is gloomy. James's father, was sitting in the living room when I saw them come in. He frowned. "What are you two doing here?" to Diep meltdown, tears streaming down her face. Uncle James was kidnapped. The cup of tea in Father Gomez's hand fell to the ground and broke. What? Tung quickly recounted everything. Mr. Hun's face darkened. "They dare touch my son. Okay, we'll take care of the money, but we have to have a plan." He stood up with sharp eyes full of power. Even though he left the business world, he is still the man who once made many opponents fear him. To Diep Thong and Father Yams immediately discussed they had two options: pay for Jane's life, but no one is sure that the kidnappers will keep their promise. Use money as bait, decoy to locate them and rescue James. Tung looked at the Diep. "If you want, I can go with you to give the money. But you must know this is very dangerous." To Diep did not hesitate. "I will go. I can't let James get in trouble." Tung nodded yes, so the plan is as follows. They began to discuss every detail and step carefully. But no one knows that right now James is being held in a dark room, tied up, and John was standing in front of him. Give a malicious smile. Will to Diep and Tung be able to save James in time? Did their plan work? And most importantly, will to Diep stay with James? Or decide to leave to find peace? Inside a dark room, musty steam rose from the old walls. James was tied to a wooden chair, two hands cuffed behind the back. His forehead was bleeding from the hard blow he received when he was arrested. In front of him, the king sat cross-legged and leisurely lit a cigarette. Smile evilly. How did you not think you would have this day? John tilted his head, the smoke curling around his face. You ruin everything of mine. Now it's my turn to make you taste despair. He groaned and smiled despite the pain, but his eyes were still arrogant. If you need money, just say so. I don't think someone like you needs to do this dirty trick. Money is just an excuse. I want you to see what loss is like. What is impotence? I want to see. Will the Diep dare to risk her life for you? James clenched his hands, his eyes darkening. To Diep, John is using you to test her. If you come, you will be in danger. If she doesn't come, she will live in torment forever. John leaned close to James' ear and whispered, let's wait and see. Will she choose you? Or choose the safe path for yourself? At Father Jame's house, to Diep Tung and Father James have prepared a plan. They agreed to pay ransom, but will install a tracking device on the VA Altian to track down the kidnappers. At exactly 9 p.m. to Diep's phone rang. A cold voice rang out. I went to the old warehouse in the suburbs alone. Do not call the police. Tung held her hand with worried eyes. To Diep, you shouldn't go alone. Let me go instead." She shook her head. "They want me. If you go, they will be suspicious." Father James put his hand on her shoulder, his voice calm but authoritative. "Be careful. We will follow closely behind. No one should let James be in danger." Diep nodded, took a deep breath, and grabbed a bag of money and walked out to the car. She knew she was running into danger, but there is no other choice. Inside the old warehouse, the lantern was tied to a post. When the iron door opened, he saw Diep walk in, hugging Via tightly. She lost weight and her eyes were full of worrying. "Diep, you shouldn't have come here," James shouted, but she stood in front of him facing John. John smiled and clapped his hands slowly, very touching. "Poor girl comes to save rich CEO. It's a fairy tale." Diep gritted her teeth, her voice trembling but full of determination. "Let him go. I brought the money as you requested." Ron smirked and raised his hand to signal his juniors to check the DL. One of them opened raw, flipped through the stacks of money and nodded at him. "Very good," John said, approaching her, "but there was one small problem. Who guarantees that after releasing James, you will not come back to destroy me?" Diep held his breath. Just as she feared, John had no intention of keeping his promise. Suddenly a noise came from behind. Warehouse lights off. A series of hurried footsteps echoed. John cursed and pulled out his gun. "You bastards set me up." At that moment, Tom and James's father's bodyguards rushed in and opened fire. "Put the gun down," Tom shouted loudly. John's men panicked. Some ran away, some raised their hands and surrendered. John gritted his teeth and looked around, then quickly grabbed Diep, put a gun to her head. "Back off or I shoot." James's heart stopped beating. "John, whatever you want, just aim at me. Don't touch her." John laughed madly. "Do you think I'm stupid? I will let her watch you die in front of her." But as soon as he let his guard down, Diep quickly stomped on the foot. He jerked his head back. John painfully loosened his grip for a brief second. James immediately rushed forward, ignoring the tied hands that pushed John away. A gunshot rang out. John staggered and fell to the ground, blood pouring from his shoulder. One of James' father's bodyguards shot him before he could do anything. Purple leaf. John looked down with hatred in his eyes as he looked at James. "You win." James said nothing, just squeezed Diep's hand. She was shaking but still tried to smile at him. After John was arrested, James was taken to the mansion to have his wounds treated. When he woke up, Diep was sitting there holding his hand tightly. "Are you okay?" James's voice was hoarse from fatigue. She nodded, tears rolling down. "I was so scared, but I couldn't leave you." James looked at her deeply. "Are you going to leave me too?" Diep was startled. "I know, but now after all, She doesn't want to run away anymore. She squeezed his hand. I will stay no matter what storms lie ahead. I will be by your side. The goat smiled and took her little hand. I will protect you for the rest of my life. Outside the window, dawn is gradually breaking. A new beginning is coming. And this time they will face it all together.